Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. Welcome to Trader TV Live. Futures flat to start the morning on this holiday shortened day. The NQ literally at 0.00. The ES barely negative 0.02. The Dow, much like the ES, 0.06. And the Russell 2000 also flat. Bitcoin, though, dropping again overnight, retesting that 87,000 area of support, while gold continues to hold up after record highs with silver the day yesterday. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Holiday shortened trading day, as I mentioned. Good morning, Adair. What are some of the headlines?
Good morning, Sharif. I think we have to start here with INTC Intel. Certainly one of the few names that has some decent volume here with the story. It's actually just pushing higher here at 8 a.m. We did have Reuters reporting that apparently NVIDIA has halted testing Intel's 18A process. They also had some comments here from U.S. commerce officials basically suggesting that, while new Intel CEO Lip Bhutan is good at deal making, there might still be some concerns with the company going forward. The other thing that I think is worth discussing here in terms of headlines, we have NKE Nike, we have Tim Cook, Apple CEO, according to a filing, buying some shares in the company. Then PATH UiPath set to join the S&P MidCap 400, replacing Synovus. That'll take place as of the open on January 2nd, 2026. So quite a few headlines this morning, actually.
Yeah, guys, lots to talk about today. A couple of defense names also getting some more money. LMT should be in focus. Likewise with Boeing. They both gotten renewed contracts from the Defense Department. Separately, more investigations in American company by European regulators today. It is Meta down 0.5%. Tesla also with a possible recall. So we'll keep an eye out on that, guys. Good morning. Happy Merry, or I should say, Merry Christmas Eve.
Yes, Merry Christmas, everybody. And, you know, we're trying in the festive mood on this half day. Market's going to be closed at 1 o'clock, but I feel like it's not like a ridiculous amount of things, but there's more than normal in terms of actual stores. Like, who the heck announces that you're going to be added to the S&P MidCap on a day like today? And then there's some lip service.
UiPath.
For Intel. There be good for UiPath. You have some of the space names moving around here, so maybe they'll be tracking Santa Claus tonight. And we're trying to be as festive as possible. Get the Grinch.
And Darren and I got the Grinch going on.
Darren's got the Grinch.
What does yours say? Happy
Trails, Hans.
Oh, Hans. Oh, falling out of Die Hard, right? Yeah, falling out of the building. That's
Alan
a good
Rickman,
one.
baby.
Yeah, that's a great one over there.
My wife actually made a point about that. I had never thought about this for Die Hard, because there's that the other Christmas movie that he's in, Love Actually. She's like, well, you gotta watch. It's like you watch Die Hard after Love Actually, and then you see Alan Rickman get what he deserves.
Okay, so for
being a douche in one movie,
so it's like,
and then he dies in the other. So
yeah, it's almost like a sequel or something.
It's like it pays it forward.
There, yeah. Welcome everybody. We're really happy.
I got to thank Adara for these.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. So Adara brought in pastries, donuts, Timbits, all that kind of stuff. We want to. Here we go. Actually, we have something for that.
Thank you very much, Dara.
And then Joe, this is the key thing here too as well. Joe with the lottery tickets. So we'll be scratching. I'll be scratching this as the show goes on, and then that should be fun. And then Obi actually got us all some gifts as well. So it's you guys. I know what you got. I got something a little different than everybody else.
It's like a little X-wing ornament.
I got these Nintendo coasters.
Nice.
Yeah, so I actually had pretty much almost all of these games. Zelda. Where do you want to go over here?
Yeah, that's a better one.
Yeah, Zelda, Super Mario Brothers 2. Their Duck Hunt, I believe, is on here. Metroid, Donkey Kong.
I love Duck Hunt.
Zelda is the best, in my opinion. I love that game. And there's
cool.
Duck Hunt's being copied by the Coffees.
Save it for my daughter.
Yeah, so these are really super cool. So thank you so much to Obi and everybody else over there as well. What's up? Glad to have. I know I showed the scratch tickets already. I want to pull one out and see what. These are all supposed to be pretty random. They look like controller. They look like video games on the. Look at this. It's just like a little video game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Metroid. So there you go. Thank you, Obi. I will be using the Metroid one today. What an awesome gift. Anyways, happy, yeah, see, now I've got it screwed up too, what Sharif was saying. Happy Merry Christmas Eve right there to everybody. It's been obviously a banger of a week so far, and we're going to see if we can continue that here today. So, you know, Christmas spirit is very, very high around here, and we want to thank everybody, Adara, Joe, Obi, every single person for helping us celebrate that today, and I hope you guys have a great one with you and yours. Marissa's not feeling that well, so yeah, it's like
That's the worst.
everything's good to go, but yeah, just my parents coming over, my brother coming over tonight, and a small Christmas get-together that we have every year. But yeah, hopefully it's fine. I wasn't feeling the greatest yesterday, but I'm feeling great today. So yeah, anyways, awesome.
Joe back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Joe's back. Yeah, thanks Joe for the. I'm gonna start scratching. Like I started doing it and started revealing. This is the bingo. So if I win 50 grand, man, it's gonna be a good Christmas around here. That's yeah. Everything we win is just gonna. I mean, how many people are here? We just split this all up, and then we party like it's 1999.
No, Joe's like, no, that's 25 if you win 50.
Oh, yeah. That's my bad. Joe's going to get 25, and all the other guys split the rest of it. Wait a minute. Joe gets 25, I get 20, then, yeah, you guys split 5.
25%?
Figure that. Yeah, 25%. Yeah, for Ramin, whatever, man. Just take the card. I mean, whatever, so she can figure it out what to do with it. But, yeah, we're really happy. You got your apple fritter going on there?
Nope.
Gone. There used to be an apple fritter there. I've sent a message to, we've been getting bailed on this whole week by our guests. I mean, we had Michael Noss there. Mitch still trying to figure out what's going on with his
We're supposed to have
camera there. He's not getting a Best Buy delivery.
So.
That's what I was gonna say. I messaged Jeff. I was like, "Yo, you working or what's the story with that?" So
we'll see.
We may or may not have a guest coming through very, very soon. And thank you so much to Sid over here. I know Jeff's scheduled, but he's not coming in. He's scheduled for what time? 2:45. Okay, so he'll come.
Obviously.
And we definitely. We definitely won't be there. There it is. Thank you, Sid.
Thank you, Sid.
For that. We want to thank you for watching and a very kind $20
First
there.
year trading. Awesome.
Couldn't have done it without us. So thank you so much. And yeah, we're glad to have everybody here, man. Like Adara's trading, Sharif trading, Joe, myself, Obi, Neil, everybody's here. So it should be a good day. And I think even there's going to be some kind of an opportunity today. Like I've already written down Intel, Google. I got ASTS on here.
That's oddly enough, Intel,
Space
ASTS
Mobile.
for the first time is on my list.
Yep.
Rocket Lab. We did Rocket Lab the other day, but ASTS, I bid again because of 88K is going to be a thing. But man, that Intel story. And we'll get into that a little bit deeper, but that looked bad. But I think it's those space ones today. Like these were rocket, but you know what? Here's the thing. We know it's a half day trading, right? A lot of times the volume spike, there'll be like some volume early and then it'll taper off. You might end up with something like this at the open, where like either you break away right away or you get like one chance at a decent dip buy, like that's it. And then after, this is 11 o'clock yesterday, you might get this type of action condensed, and by 10 o'clock or like 10:30, all the bigger movements already gone. Just keep that in mind. Like we talked about that for like barcoding in the afternoon. The afternoon today is going to be much earlier for obvious reasons. Just have that in the back of your mind that you don't want to be over trading at like 11 o'clock today. The day's pretty much done at that point.
Yeah, we'll be on till 10, and the boys will be on 10 to 12, then we'll all be back. Whoever stays at 1, and I'm going to be bringing back some.
I want another donut.
Well, the thing is, Adara got a dozen donuts and Timbits. So there will be donuts there. There will not be 12 people in this office.
Definitely.
Neil, and I know Sharif will probably have 4 or 5 of those donuts, but other than that, I don't think there's going to be too much.
It's also very weird.
Got one going on.
Can't make this up. This is not. You guys are like, this will have nothing to do with you guys. No, but a dude came today. We have the mats. Because it's winter, so you want to have the mats when people are tracking in snow.
Okay, yeah.
And they always replace them here in the building a couple times a year. They take them out at the end of winter. They put them in now.
Okay.
The guy comes in, and then Randy's not here.
Where are our mats?
Well, this is exactly the point. He comes in, and I have to sign for it because Randy's not here. So no one that works for the building is here, so Obi lets him back.
Yeah.
So I go back out to check. There's no mats. It's like he came.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then didn't actually put them down. So
maybe he took them. Maybe they were there.
I don't know. But we didn't have them out before, I don't think. I could be wrong.
Well, way to let in random people then. So he just came in.
I didn't let him in. I mean, we're back here. This is the thing. Like the studio, like we're kind of, like we're separated from the outside business. Anyone that's visited, like you come into the back office of the trading company, and then you come back in here. But there's nobody in the back office today. Like Obi's sitting there by himself.
I mean, we already got our own coffee once, so I guess we got to get our own coffee twice.
We'll be on it.
So. All right. Well, thank you so much, Adara, for the kind treats this AM. That was very, very awesome of you. And yeah, there she is. The Grinch, we're Grinch twins. We're Grinch twinning. Of course, she has a much nicer sweater, but I'm just here every day to put on hopefully a good show.
You gotta put the hoodie on.
Yeah. Well,
They go all in.
well, is this all in? Thing is, it also shows on the back. I don't know how, where's my mic? It's gonna fall. It also has a Grinch. The eyes. It's like a. All right. Tesla. Will Tesla get to 500 today? Maybe not. 486 right now. Nvidia's been on quite a nice little run here as well over the last little while. So we'll see if that can get going. But I do think that. Oh yeah, 189. Do think that the space names are going to be what's been hot here. And I just wrote down, like, why not? We can trade the market a little bit today, too. I mean, the market's been pretty hot over the last couple of days, right? I mean, we started to get going here this week. This week has been a great week for the market. I mean, we started off down here, low 600s. We'll end the day around 620 and then get ready to get back to all-time highs again, which is right up there, 640. So here's the cues for the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq this year up 21%. And not being helped by many names, man. Like Amazon not up anything, Meta, a lot of these names aren't up anything, and the Nasdaq still is up 21%. S&P up 17% so far this year. So, and the thing is that today is the first day of the Santa Claus rally, so we'll see if that can start kicking off as well. And we've had some statistical irrelevance posted about Santa Claus rally. So we're not going to play long just because it's a magical moment in the calendar, but we will start looking long. I got a lot of longs written down here. I have Intel short. That's it. So yeah, we'll be here, man. We're here all day. Everyone's here. And,
half the day, not all day.
Yeah, half the day. It's only open till 1 p.m. today.
No, I saw in the chat someone's like, "Oh, why aren't you guys home with your families?" Well, it's pretty simple. TraderTV Live is always on as long as U.S. markets are open. Like, we have not for COVID, not for anything else. We haven't missed a single broadcast, like one way or another. We even had like work being done. We couldn't even be in the building for the office in the office one day. We managed to put on the show from home. So we always figure it out here. But again, it is going to be a half day. So everything's condensed a little bit. There's actually, this is like weird scheduling. We don't have much for economic numbers. There's at 8:30 we get jobless claims and continuous claims at 8:30, but at 10:30 there's like a 7-year note auction, which usually that'd be at 1 o'clock. So there are a few things on a half day that are a little bit normal for sure. So let's be real. It's going to be a different type of day, but should be good. I'm kind of curious. We'll go back because I know you said you're going to do a little small gathering. At 1 o'clock, I'm booking out of here because not only do we have to go up north to my in-laws, but we're responsible for dinner tonight. Like, I'm the only one working, but we're the ones that are doing dinner tonight. That's kind of But Dara, Sharif, what are your plans for the holidays? Or at least for Christmas specifically?
I am going to spend Markham. I'm going to spend time in Markham for a couple of days at the old folks' home. We're going to have my sister up from SoCal, which is nice. Going to be able to see my niece and nephew. My brother-in-law is not making it, though, so tough. But we will, because we're Orthodox, so our Christmas is on the 7th of January, so we're going to do it Jewish style. We're going to be at a Chinese restaurant on the 25th. We're going to Golden Dragon, baby, and I'm pumped for that. Yourself?
Yeah, that sounds really nice. I do not have too much family in the city, so I did a thing. I went back to Winnipeg a couple weeks ago, did a thing with my family there. I think we're going to do like a FaceTime stalking thing, but yeah, it'll be chill. I will be hanging out. That's my Christmas. All
right, guys, let's talk a little Tesla over here because it's getting a little tough for Tesla lately with a lot of investigations. Today, we're seeing U.S. auto safety regulators. They've opened up a defective investigation into Tesla's Model 3 compact sedans. They're citing here emergency door releases that may not be easily accessible or clearly identifiable. If you've ever been in a Tesla before, you know that the release is electronic. It's a button that you hit on the side of the door, but there is a mechanical release for emergencies. They're hidden, though, in the storage compartment on the side and the bottom of the door. That is basically the focus of this recall. They're going to recall probably, or the probe, I should say, covers about 179,000 vehicles from model 2022 onwards. The regulators emphasize, though, that the opening of a probe doesn't mean a recall will happen, but it is the first step, Adara. So Tesla here, flat on the day, still below 500.
Yeah, it's worth noting here again the defect petition basically talking about how this door release is unhidden, unlabeled, and unintuitive, especially if you're in an emergency situation. You really have to act quickly. We also had some recent lawsuits here with TSLA involving fatal crashes, including one incident in Wisconsin, and they're facing legal action. The company is that, to clarify here, facing legal action with regards to a Cybertruck crash in California. So again, some of the concerns here with Tesla's designs coming right back with this door issue.
All right, guys, we're trading around 46. We're $14 away from 500. Adara's winning this right now. What's your look?
We're getting there today, that's for sure. The chances, the likelihood of actually seeing that kind of price action is relatively slim on the half. It's not impossible, but without some kind of a bigger catalyst, I would suspect you're in for. If it's an inside day, I think that'd be a good thing for Tesla because that means we didn't lose a bid from yesterday. So if we don't lose 482, that's ultimately going to be good. When I was looking at it, I still am leaning towards the support being way down there at 75. So I'm not looking long on Tesla yet because I still think we're kind of range bound in this range where you're looking for that bid to come in where it's been tried and true and tested, which is 70 to 75. And then up close to 500, it's been essentially you're just projecting it. So sideways action, it was complete. It was basically downward trending until about 245 when it broke trend. It just sort of sat there sliding down. And that's what the market up. But it's not all bad when you think about that. Like relative weakness yesterday, but then it was one of the things that was at the all-time high. Like it was pretty much backing off of an all-time high. So I think that it goes, you sort of play that with a grain of salt. Like I'm not going to overreact to Tesla being relatively weak because it had been so strong, and it would make some sense that there's some profit taking going into the year. Seriously doubt we see the 70 to 75 area for support, so I'm going to back away from Tesla today. There was a small capper, and today, keep in mind, you're going to want to be trading things that are moving. That's just how it is. Like, if you're going to lose money, lose something on, or try something that's going to move and give you an opportunity. So I want to call it drama, but DRMA, Dermata Therapeutics, announced a private placement. It's up to 12.4 million, but I think breaking out to 4.1 and some warrants as well. They're up 55%. As you can see here on the daily chart, this is a recent reverse split that did what reverse splits usually do and now getting a bit of a bounce. So good volume here on DRMA. That's at least one small capper that just popped up with a story.
We might have to find some small cappers here as well. B5, I just got, that's a good one. What we need now is G46 to grab our first line coming through here. So we'll be scratching some of these and seeing if we can win. Thank you to Joe for that. Yeah, look, I mean, one of the best parts about owning a Tesla is when my kids come into the car, they obviously know how to open the doors now. But yeah, their friends have no idea, or anybody that gets in, they're stuck out there. And I was like, come on, open the door. And they have no idea how to do it. So I do understand that it is a little bit confusing to many that have not opened the door again. But yeah, the little safety release thing is right by the handle. It's really, it's funny because without this show and like realizing that a couple months ago or whatever, when we had talked about it, I think there was like a little bit of a rehashed story there. I didn't know where those were, but they're right there. They're not hard to find. And I just feel like it's like, understand your car. And if you do, then you'll be ahead of the game. So, but anyways, Tesla not really feeling any effects of that story. A flat on the day, up 0.15. Yeah, you know, like very choppy yesterday off the open. You know, I don't think, I can't remember if we traded this name yesterday. I don't think we did. No, we were looking for that short there. Oh yeah, I think we might have gone short. Yeah, we did. We tried to go short there at the end of the day off the 200 period because we thought that it was going to hold that, and then it didn't, and then we wound up shorting 40. Oh yeah, what am I talking about? It was the only trade that we had there in the afternoon, and it was shorting this 487 spot. Remember we got sort of hit on the way back up here, guys. If we show the chart, I'll just show you guys. Yesterday, we thought that we were going to hold that 200 period, so we lost there, and then we shorted it into VWAP before eventually, thankfully, catching that top and bringing it back, and then it wound up being a net positive name, but it still bounced off the 200, and that was a good spot there yesterday. So yeah, let's just see if it can play the range again. Like yesterday, it was pretty top heavy, kept on hitting the downside. So I think yesterday, high, like well, kept on making lower highs until eventually we broke this last one near the end of the day and then still faded off of that as well. So I'm thinking negative down there just because we're not at that 500 mark. I almost wonder if like January 1st type of thing is like, surprise, we're over 500 and then we go from there. But yeah, it's not super exciting to me today. Tesla, it's not setting up the greatest. There are lower levels. I mean, if we, for some reason, start to go, like I think on a day like today, you want to trade names that have some sort of an action to it. And like right now, not many. That's why we're looking at Intel, we have Google, we have those ASTS on our mind. You know, Rivian's been getting hit downside pretty good as well over the last little while. So we could, you know, see some shorting opportunities in Rivian as well if we can get near like maybe this 22, like where we sort of started yesterday. But again, we'll wait to see if there's a big move, right? I mean, we're going to be ears to the ground. Adara's still going to be grabbing the news for us. We have our news services going and everything like that. So I think this will be what the day is. You know, we're going to be here trading for a bit. We'll send it over to the midday guys, and then we'll be back at noon again. So yeah, trading bigger names, and even Bitcoin's 87.3. It's not really doing a whole heck of a lot either right now. Silver up 150% on the year, gold up 71% on the year, copper up 45% on the year, platinum, which is, maybe I should time to sell the ring, up 150% this year. So the investment of the ring continues to pay.
Silver has given up the entire gap up in the pre-market here.
Okay.
Which is, you know what's weird is it's at the open, it's been selling off a lot at the open. So like silver was gapped up, another fresh all-time high, and it's given up the entirety of the move. At the open yesterday, it sold off heavily and then ran. Prior day, if we go back, the prior day, it basically sold off all day and then bounced. So there's been some, like what's crazy, it's doing that while stair-stepping up. It's like there's, like at the open, volume comes in and like takes profit, and then we just kind of grind higher and higher. But the weird thing about this, obviously, is that gold and silver are at highs while the market is at highs. Like they're literally breaking out parabolically while the market is strong, and we just had a good GDP print yesterday. Historically, that's not necessarily been the best thing in the world if you have the metals spiking at the same time as the overall market, because it's like, well, what are the metals markets trying to tell us? Do you have any topping concerns there, Sharif? Because the metals, when you see gold and silver run like this, when the market's at the highs and people are calling bubble, historically it hasn't been the worst indicator that there's some risk coming.
Central banks is my focus, Neil. A lot of diversification away from the US dollar, trying to rely less on that as the reserve currency for multiple reasons. A lot of countries don't want to get sanctioned and have the dollar weaponized against them. So instead, they're buying gold. We know the Chinese certainly are doing that. A lot of European banks also hoarding gold, central banks, that is. So I like that side of it in terms of the trade, kind of the move away from the US dollar as the global hegemon in currency. But I also know that the cyclicality of these commodities, once they trend in a certain way, they really go. But once they turn, they do really turn, and they don't really trade like equities on the pullback. So that's my thinking there with respect to that. But let's get to Meta here, because Meta has an interesting story. So Meta ordered to suspend WhatsApp AI terms amid an EU probe, another EU probe. More on this in a second. So Italy's antitrust authorities ordered Meta to suspend specific WhatsApp contractual terms that regulators believe could block rival AI chatbots from accessing the WhatsApp platform. It's part of an ongoing investigation into an abuse, of course, of dominant market position under the Digital Markets Act. Meta responded, said the Italian regulator's decision is fundamentally flawed. They argue that third-party chatbots place unexpected strains on WhatsApp's system, and WhatsApp is not designed to support them, and they're going to appeal the ruling. But this is part of a broader theme, so to speak, that we've seen between the European regulators and American companies. And now the American regulator is going to respond. Case in point, President Trump today basically banning, you can go to the screen if you can, certain individuals from your European regulators, an ex-EU commissioner. He's basically banned them from entering the United States. It's a visa restriction there. It's part of this growing theme by the American regulator to respond. Jameson Greer as well, a few days ago, I believe, last week, he cited certain European companies that are going to be possibly part of potential retaliation. He cited Accenture, Siemens, Spotify, SAP, DHL, Mistral, which is their only European AI, LLM, as well as others. Thankfully for myself, though, he didn't cite ASML, which I feel like he's relying, the American microchip and semiconductor industry relies too much on that, Adara. So interesting take today from Meta.
Yeah, a pretty interesting look there, especially the response from said individual there from the EU to the Trump administration sanction there. Interesting note. But yeah, I think like we had literally earlier this week, the Italian antitrust authority coming in through here on the situation with Apple, right? So Italian antitrust authority certainly getting involved here in this regulation. And again, this investigation also runs parallel with the separate EU antitrust probe launched last month with regards to Meta. We have this continuation, I think, as we see the US step up here with these against regulators here. I have a feeling this kind of back and forth will continue, much like what we're seeing with China and the chips. Yeah.
All right, guys. Meta still trading below that 670 area. It's had a lot of trouble clearing it. What's your look on Meta?
I'm willing to make, I mean, it's an educated guess here, but Meta will not, it's in a tight range. It's not going to break out of this little 50 period to 200 period that I'm waiting for. I think it gets exciting to pick a direction on Meta to me when it breaks away from this about 675 on top, and then you got this like 655 on the bottom in between the 50 and the 200 period moving average. You think today on a half day we'll break in through that? I would like to say there's almost no chance that it does. Look, as far as coming at them, the EU's got to do what they got to do. They don't necessarily concern me too much, I don't think. And ultimately, there's been so many stats out there that show that when it comes to big cap tech, especially US, they don't pay a lot of taxes in Europe. And really, these types of things where they get a fine, they find some reason to fine them or change their business practices, that's their way of getting their pound of flesh. So it's almost like it's the way of doing business, and you just got to respect it. I do believe we have our man back. He wasn't feeling well yesterday, and he's rested up, and we get some options with Joey Options.
Options, guys, options. Let's see if we can get a big winner today. All right, guys, let's see what we got going on. And obviously, happy holidays to everyone in the chat. I hope everyone's having a fantastic start to the festivities, guys. Speaking of festivities, let's take a look at some options activity. At the top of the list, guys, we have QBTS at that $35 strike price. That is going to be expiring next year, guys. So that is going to be January 16th. This is going to be some good size here with open interest sitting around 11,500. And then we also have volume at 5,940. Now, as for Netflix, guys, at that $95 strike price, that is going to be expiring on Boxing Day. Volume 7,370. With open interest sitting around 11,800. Now, as for Tesla, guys, heading over to this Friday expiration cycle, there was substantial volume at that $500 level, rightfully so, with volume around 163,000 and then open interest around 35,900. Now, as for the call of the day, Meta, interesting contracts, guys. I wanted to pull this up here. What we can see is that at one point, this contract was worth roughly around $12,000, which is insane. And now it's only worth a couple $100. Very interesting stuff on the writing's behalf. Now, as for Meta at that $700 level expiry, this is going to be the 16th of January, 2026. You can see we're sitting on a $15 spread, but the volume and open interest is still relatively substantial. 59,100 there, and then also 8,590 contracts traded off that specific level delta, because considering it's so far out of the money, relatively cool. Almost no gamma exposure. We got the 007 sitting on that front, and then at the money, IV sitting around 25.1%. Not bad whatsoever, considering it's a pretty expensive name. Now, as for some of the upgrades and downgrades, guys, let's get right into this as well. We're going to start off with downgrades, as Neil. So we'll fire this one up and end on a positive note. Now, these are going to be lowering price targets, and Bridge going to be at the top of the list, going from a $73 to target to a $71 target by Jefferies. EMB is that ticker. Now, as for FedEx as well, too, guys, We got them going from 345 to 340 and relatively flat here this morning. Now, as for Lamb Weston, we got a $68 target going to $54 by Wells Fargo. And then we have Meta also getting the price target lowered from $820 to $815. Now, as for some of the upgrades, we're going to end things on a positive note here. AA Alcoa, guys, going from $40 to $58 by Wells Fargo. And then we have Carvana as well, too. $420 to $425. Slightly negative on the session, but that's all right. Rocket Labs has been trading relatively well as of late, guys. Needham were positive 1% in the morning, $63 to $90. That's a nice bump there. And Tesla by Canaccord Genuity going from $482 target to $551.
Lower than expected initial jobless claims here, guys. Let's get into it. 214,000 initial jobless claims versus 223,000 expected, and the previous print here of 224,000. So again, lower than expected initial jobless claims, 214K versus 223K expected. Continued jobless claims, 1.923 million. That's going to be a little bit higher than 1.9 million expected. Market is pushing a little bit higher in this. So again, QQQ making a new pre-market high as we do get lower than expected initial jobless claims, but higher than expected continued jobless claims.
Yeah, the slight break of the highs here, overnight highs at least by the Qs and yesterday's top. So look, it's not a huge beat, but it's still a beat. And yesterday we got a GDP beat. Yeah, sure, it's backward looking, but ultimately the data is the data. At this point, and it's pointing to some strength in the strength in the economy, some strength in the job market. We'll see. We'll ultimately see where this ends up here. I wouldn't overreact to a very, very small move to the upside. Just heard another move up for Rocket Lab. I know we have ASTS on the watch list today, and that's going to be in play. But you have to remember, like all of these names are going. Rocket Lab's breaking a double top in the last couple of sessions, as ASTS has already broken said double top. So yeah, you've got some things that are taking out some highs already. Not Bitcoin, that's for sure. Not Tesla yet, but certainly Rocket Lab. The market already starting to pull back a bit. I wouldn't overreact to such a small beat.
Yeah, it was interesting that the jobless claims coming out. U.S. continued jobless claims 193 versus 18, and then the jobless claims 214 versus 224 U.S. initial jobless claims. So setting the market up here a little bit temporarily, and then right back down again right there. Yeah, I mean, maybe Meta is going to be something to be watched today, but it's just a matter of like watching out for the liquidity, right? Like right now, there's not going to be a whole bunch of action on some of these early trades. I'm putting the sticky note out right now, but it's going to be a little bit of a lighter day. Like even here on the imbalances right now, we have, this is nothing in BIL is a treasury. Is it a treasury or is it bonds? Yeah, one to treasury, yeah, T-bill ETF. So nothing going on there. And then we have a little bit of cannabis with MSOS. There's like Nike, with sort of that little Tim Cook buy there. Only has 157,000. Like that's kind of the Novo. We had that story from yesterday as well. So that could be a day two play. But yesterday it was kind of faded there at the end of the day. We talked about that a little bit with Obi, but there's not a whole heck of a lot on here. So will be another very, very light day. Unfortunately, I did luck out and not get anything. I guess luck out means you won, but I did not get anything on this, Joe. So we will, thing is you can always scratch this little thing here and then scan the barcode, and then it will tell you if you won or not, if you missed something there. Yeah. Too bad. That's okay. Can't win them all.
The fun's in playing it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't win them all. That's why I wanted to play it. I wanted to do a little bit on the show there. If we won, it would have been fun to do that. But
it's an interesting one. 1337, the super chat from Biwi. TV. Love the new setup. Long-time watcher. You love to see the growth. Happy holidays. Right back at you. I'm always curious because sometimes it'll be sort of obvious where people are going with when they pick a random number for the super chat. But 1337, I admit I'm not getting that one at all. Maybe it's just lucky numbers.
It must be his lucky number.
Maybe it's just lucky numbers.
Yeah. That's a good one. Well, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you and yours. Of course, as well. So 8:35. We're just going to go through the normal rundown. If there is any names you guys want in the chat, let us know, And we'll definitely go over some of those names with you guys and start to review some charts. Or we do have, you can pull that thing down.
I was gonna give a fresh start. It looked like it was yesterday, to be honest with you. Whoops, I'm even gonna do there we go. This looks right. So you got Sidu, or that's fine, Citus. Citus is up there, Tesla, Broadcom, DVAX, Nike, always there, Mask, I mean, why? Path, but these are all pretty light so far, but the one standing out is Citus Space. The space names are gonna be running. They had been running, I guess is the best way to put it. But remember, these guys dropped the offering. That's the one thing we should always, and we try to say it as often as possible for some of these small cappers. I mean, obviously for us, when we're day trading, we're not holding anything overnight, but do have some kind of a concept of whether or not, a stock is liable or has the ability to drop an offering. Because if they've already filed, then they can do it at any point. Because Citus had barely started running and when they dropped the offering. It's up again today, so the reaction has been positive. But if you were holding it from that big gap up day a couple of days ago, you got rinsed with that offering overnight. So just be aware of that if you're swing trading these small cap names. What do you think they're going to do when the stock's up 100%? They're going to take advantage of it and they're going to raise. So Citu up 18%. And pretty good volume, about 5 or 6 million. Not a bad place to look if you are finding things that are doing some real movement. So good one in there. Keep them coming in. Just remember, you have to type in the chat $ and then your symbol. Then it will populate on our fantastic stock visualizer. And then some of those names pop up behind us when we're not displaying the market, which is backing off a little bit from the highs. Not much.
Yeah, it's been a good short week. That's what I wrote down. I think I'm just going to be looking long, except for on Intel today. So maybe some Netflix could get action. Plays like that, I think, is what we're going to look at. Novo Nordisk, Eli Lilly. Novo Nordisk is actually up 1.8%. So might have found like the biggest runner right now, up 1.8, looking to take out that level yesterday as they finally get that approval for the oral GLP drug there. So I think a lot of people will. I mean, I don't know. I personally don't know anybody that's taking these, but it's just like, I would much rather take the pill than the injection. So that's just me. But if they have the same efficacy, I don't know if they do. But if they do, then I think Novo is in for a run here potentially because, I think a lot of people will switch. But like I said, the fact that they have one now that's been approved, I must be certain that Eli Lilly and the rest are working. Pfizer, I know Pfizer had a problem. They bought that Medstera. And that was for, I believe, to try to work on the oral one as well. So there's going to be lots of opportunities here for some of these stocks to get going, which is why I like the XBI, right? The ETF there, XBI for the biotech ETF. I think biotech is huge. Big help with AI in that space. So yeah, definitely all about that. So it's funny that I'm wearing the Grinch shirt, but I do have mostly longs written down on here. So, the Grinch turns out to be an okay guy. He goes to dinner at the end and has the Who, what are they called? The Who's?
The Who roast beast.
Yeah, the roast beast. Yeah. Well, it's Whoville, right? So that's
Whoville. You know what's crazy? People say say what you want about Dr. Seuss, but the Grinch is like he's almost like a perfect character. In terms, if you just look at all antagonists, it's a perfect character.
Right.
So he goes through a perfect arc. He has a complete story. He betters himself. It's not easy. It's just. Yeah, it's a really, really fantastic kids movie. It's
been redone 10 times or something, so it's been.
What do you think of the Jim Carrey one?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite ones.
But do you like the new compared to the newer animated
on Netflix? That was a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I'd have to rewatch that one. I just think the
Benedict
Grinch.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
You prefer that to the Jim Carrey one, which is as a Canadian, that's not always the easiest thing to say. But I do prefer the new animated one to the Jim Carrey one. Oh, there we go.
Randy. What is that?
Go back.
It wasn't loading. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's what happened around my house there. Yeah, my kids would be getting a baseball bat and hitting me over the head.
Yeah, you got to take the knee. Go for the knees.
There it is. The Grinch coming in, man. You got to watch out for the Grinch.
Larger opponent. Take him out at the knee.
Small tree there.
Sweep the leg next time, little girl. Sweep the leg.
We have 50 or more presents underneath our tree right now. It's insanity. We have and it's just all for we don't have any family. My parents is under there. Yeah. My family actually does watch this. I'll tell you after, Sharif there. The wife did all of the shopping, though. I mean, she does everything. I got a few things, and it's going to be good, but she's handling everything right now. And it's nuts. The amount of stuff that the kids got, it's a bunch of snowboarding stuff, a bunch of like just unlimited stuff, man. It's I don't know. I make money to spend it. Like that's what I do. So I don't know. Like I'm broke as hell. You know, all the money just goes right there, and then it goes into things that get thrown out in 6 months or something.
All the
like
collecting.
That, so.
It's crazy how many like toys and gadgets you end up with. It's absolute complete.
It's nuts.
Like it's crazy because like I would have no problem. Normally I would have no trouble saying.
Like Marissa just sent me a link for Coldplay tickets.
Just last night they're like, yeah, we're actually gonna watch the show this morning at some point, but they didn't tell me when. So like I can't say what we're getting either. But what I can tell you is, for sure, there's some stuff that I will enjoy, like even like my wife's gift. I'm gonna enjoy it a little bit, but you'll be able to see it. Sometimes we do like things that are really good for like the family.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
When you get multiple gifts for either members of your family, sometimes it's more something for the household. Let's just put it that way. Sometimes you have to do it that way. All with those household gifts. But luckily for us, a lot of the stuff is happening at my in-laws. So like that, the absolute nonsense of like a million gifts will happen at their place, and all the wrapping paper. And
that's good. Yeah,
over at their place. But yeah, we just have to worry about making tacos tonight for dinner.
Okay, that's good.
Well, at least we made it simple. It's like
nothing more simple. Nothing more simple. That's
the
perfect.
Most simple thing in the world.
Get it over with, and that's it.
Like a Christmas tradition food you guys eat?
Yeah, we'll have lasagna tonight, and then we're doing what Sharif was doing tomorrow. Like we just stay inside and we just order in Chinese.
Nice. Yeah.
So we're all about the Chinese tomorrow. Well, Marissa mentioned that sometimes we'll do that. She makes a Christmas morning like a bake, kind of like a quiche. Full of everything, so she's working on that right now.
I love quiche.
I don't know how we just spent $340 at Walmart, but that was pretty cool. So
food.
I was like, "Are we getting more gifts?" She's like, "No."
Easy, it's groceries, bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but we already have all this stuff. So I don't know. What's
you
going
already
on.
had food. Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm working on this. My guy CompuCare team over there. I mean, I think the sticky note better be hot fire today, man. Like this is. The credit card bill is just, I might as well light it on fire. Joe, give me another one of these, man. I need to win. I need to win immediately. I just need to go to the store and just buy as many of these tickets as possible. And it's funny, I actually got some tickets for our stocking. I got to fill the stocking, so I fill the wife's stocking up there as well. Yeah, we don't have a Christmas tree around here. We should have done that. Yo, Merry Christmas to everybody out there for sure. Merry Christmas to Adarish and Sharif in behind us, and thank you to everybody for participating in another great year. The year's not over. I mean, we're back. Like, we are literally back in 2 days. Christmas.
Some of us.
The 20. Yeah, Neil's got his birthday in a couple of days. Happy early birthday in 2 days from now. But so you got that off, and then I'm off one of the days too because we're in Buffalo. My daughter's got another hockey ID skate down there. So. What are you supposed to do? Buffalo's about an hour and a half, even less than that, of a drive here. So we're gonna go the night before. Then she skates in the morning. Then we just come back and chill. So a couple of her friends are also going. So we'll spend some time in the hotel. Yeah, it's the 29th though, so it's not. Yeah, and then it'll be New Year's Eve. Yeah, and then we're even on New Year's Eve. Like, why is New Year's Eve a full day? By the way,
the dumbest thing ever. It's really New Year's Eve is the day that should be a half day, in my opinion. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's something. On Wednesday, like right in the middle of the week. But there'll be some bowl games. That'll be interesting. Tyler Smith saying go to the Bills game, Sean.
But it's Monday.
They're coming right back.
We're going Monday.
Yeah, the Bills play Sunday at.
I mean, we could just help pay for all these gifts right now. Make this like like 2 cents or something like that, and we'll clear that up. But thank you so much, Dewey. The Bills. They clinched though, didn't they?
Yeah, we clinched the playoffs, but it's still outside chance. By the way, ASTS here is making another leg higher. We talked about Rocket Lab breaking out, but ASTS, it is on the watch list. So, I mean, a lot of the space stocks are up. Like that F-Jet, Starfighter, Space Inc., that was the IPO, that's up today. We already showed you Sidus, so ASTS, they had a successful launch of Bluebird 6. So another day and another break. But what I like about this is, and we'll obviously get to this, but it's breaking a double top from yesterday, and it's got room. I don't think it gets to 100 today. Probably not the right day for that, but it's got lots of room up top to get to a target. So yeah, you got a double layered breakout. Like it already broke out this 85 a couple of days ago, then sort of consolidative day yesterday, a couple of range bound days, and then there's your breakout. So as long as it's over 87, I think this has a chance. But it could just be dip and rip and that's it for this kind of a name. You know, you gotta get in and out fast potentially this morning. Yeah. Like it's already up 5%. My quote board, this is hilarious. When you're like, there's nothing up, and my quote board is just the names that are usually on watch for me. Like I'm not putting things in there just because they're in play today. But if I sort it by things that are up, Micron is the only thing more than 0.5% upside. That's on my regular quote board. It's up 0.8%. You really do want to make sure you're looking at things in play. So in that light, what else do we have in play, Sharif and Adara?
We're going to get to ASTS on the rundown for sure. More details on that. Thanks for pointing that out, Neil. Big actually launch for them yesterday. A big deal for the company. The satellite that they put into orbit is fundamentally larger than anything that they have currently. Let's talk a little bit about Apple, though. We've been talking more and more about this, about them having to open up the iOS, the App Store to third-party developers as well as third-party billing. So here, they've agreed to open up the iOS store in Brazil this time to alternative app stores and third-party payment options. It settles a 3-year antitrust case. The panel approved Apple's proposed agreement. The agreement will run for 3 years once the new rules are in. So here are some of the details. Apple must allow other app stores beside, the proprietary app store in Brazil. Developers also will be permitted to use third-party payment processors for in-app purchases, or they can link to external websites to complete their transactions. Apple said they're going to comply with this, but they are warning that there is security risks, Adara.
Yeah, and they're specifically saying that they have implemented safeguards to address that security risks. However, they did acknowledge this is not going to be eliminating all risks. Now, the way they're wording this basically suggests that the company is laying the groundwork to defend their current ecosystem strategy from these types of probes. And it's worth noting here, this probe began back in 2022 after a complaint from MELI, Mercado Libre, alleging that Apple had restricted digital goods distribution and in-app payments. We then had the CADE here, I guess the regulatory body imposing preventative measures in 2024. So this has been going on for at least 3 years now, guys.
So, Katina, man, do you worry about compressing margins with, the App Store? Because this is like their biggest grossing product. I think they make 80-some-odd% from their services revenue, and this is, one of the major parts that keeps dwindling and dwindling, Katina, man, as they force them to open it up.
We're talking about Apple or Google or?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the App Store is obviously a huge thing. I mean, all that business that runs through there, they take like 30%. We talked about like how people signing up for our membership, and it's $4.99, but then it's like $5.99 if you sign up through Apple Pay or do it through the website and things like that. But yeah, I mean, this is what it is. We just talked about, I was just joking around about how expensive things are. You go to Walmart, you drop $300, and it's like you got away with something getting out of there so cheaply. But yeah, no, I look at Apple here. I'm not too worried about any sort of margin compression or anything like that. I mean, that is what's eventually going to wind up happening. These guys always seem to like reinvent something, and I don't mean by like they haven't created like a new product in a while, but it's just like you always see what that next sort of lever is that they can pull, right? And I mean, when I'm looking at Apple, I think about the services revenue, coming from whatever products they're announcing next. They had the AirPods that can now track your heartbeat and the translation features that are involved with that. They have their Apple Music, which again, another service program that they're listed in there. They did have a credit card with the Apple Pay with Goldman Sachs. That's gone. I don't know who has that now, but it's not Goldman. I like Apple here, and I think that there's always going to be competition like Huawei and Samsung and Google with the Pixels, but like those stories have already been built into this stock. Like this is what it looks like this year, and it's not like it's up huge. I mean, if you go back again to the 1st of January, you're at $250 or so. Now you're at $270. So Apple's only up $20. Like Apple's up like just over 10%, not even 10% on the year. So there is a lot more room to run here, I feel like, for Apple. But yeah, I mean, down to the 50-period moving average, it hasn't had a great month, that's for sure. I mean, 285 down to 272, and now trying to bounce off of that. It's just Apple still winning awards. You guys know, like, you'll see for Christmas, it'll be big. Like, there'll be a lot of those iPads. The new generation MacBook apparently is supposed to be really good. Once they give out that flip phone, I think that's another thing that people want to buy. Randy has like 5 Apple Home Pods or something. I think it's good, man. Apple Play is now going to be in our CarPlay music, whatever is going to be in the Teslas moving forward. And plus, we still have the whole story about Siri hopefully getting better. And you know, are they going to team up with that Gemini? What exactly is going to be happening there with that sort of combination? So, yeah, man, I like Apple. I don't think it's a sleeping giant for sure. I mean, it's only up 10% here. And it is one of those laggers. If the Nasdaq's going to be up 20 and Apple's only going to be up 10, then maybe this is not the space. But a lot of cash, you know, one of the most held names in this space in the world. And I like Apple. I just, you know, all the stories keep on remaining the same. I just think what you worry about is legislative, like what Sharif was mentioning there. What if something does come down that the App Store can no longer exist in the same manner that it does? You know, that will affect their margins. But they make a lot of money off these phones, off the AirPods, off all of their products. And it's just a matter of, you know, keeping, you know, the fan base happy. And you know, the install base is huge. And as long as that keeps on going, I feel like it's fine. I mean, the government's going to have something to say. Apple pays the most amount of taxes in the United States as a company. So I think they're going to protect these guys, and they should be.
They always do.
Be good to go.
Everyone talks a big game about antitrust and monopolies, but at the end of the day, do we ever get less big companies? No, not at all. Trader Gibby, $9.99, love it.
I love that
Merry
percentage.
Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas to the Trader TV live show and all watching YouTube yearly reviews. Set up your 0.5% of viewers. Thank you all for showing up day in, day out. When I'm not trading, I'm learning. Good luck. Good luck to you. Not just today. Whether you're trading or not, or maybe you be monitoring swing trades. Maybe you're just here for a little bit of fun. Whatever it might be. But we appreciate you so much, Trader Gibby, for sure. The only
top 0.5%. I like that.
You know what's crazy? The only thing that I would add to Apple here is, I think right now it's just like Apple is boringly good. And that's the best way to think about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we have yet to bounce from the all-time high pullback. It's just like we're still holding like little downtrend. It's holding the 50 period, which is on the daily, that's what you want. It's been support for a while. But we just haven't broken away from it yet. So yesterday we got the first green like trending day off of this support. I'd normally say to you, if it was any other day but the half day, I'd be like, oh, this seems like a perfect dip buy at 270. It just doesn't feel in play enough for Apple here, but certainly that 270 support where I'd look at that 50 period moving average. If we get down there, I think you might take a shot. But what's happening right now are two things. One, Tesla's running, but look, see, this is the Tesla move. A lot of people in the chat are saying, Tesla's moving, look at Tesla. In context, that's the 15-minute of Tesla. There's the 3-minute. Tesla just went about $1.50. In the meanwhile, remember ASTS? Bye-bye. That's now at 91 and to the moon. This is on very light volume, so be careful with your stop orders at the open too. Light volume, bigger spreads for sure. You've got this running. Just gonna double check what's happening over here with Rocket Labs. That's slowly breaking higher. And then Citus would be the other, I guess the other space related name that we're looking at, is that's gonna be in play. But yeah, certainly it looks like ASTS by far the biggest moonshot in the space names, at least right now. So appreciate all the love. And Outlawed Trader just asked about Novo. So I don't think, like, Novo's not going to end up, I don't think, on anybody's list because of the disappointing run it had yesterday. But I wouldn't sleep on this, because I think what's still intact about the Novo Nordisk story, we got the positive GLP pill results, is you've got this nice breakout going on the daily. And it did end up holding the prior day high almost exactly. Let me zoom that in so you can see better. Not prior day, but the prior high in the daily, which is about 50, just underneath 51. So you wicked right into there and bounced, and now you're gapping higher. So it's a good consolidation. So they tried to close the gap and it bounced. So when that happens on positive news, and you have a stock which is trying to bottom out, I think this one looks pretty good for a shot to run into the 60 period. So I wanted that confirmation today. Like, it has to close still holding that 51, but then I'm gonna like Novo for a run into the 60 level. Whether it can continue further than that, they have a whole host of other issues. But so far, so good for Novo Nordisk, for sure. Probably not gonna fly as much as some of the space names, which I'm surprised. Like, Apple's at the top of that list, then Tesla and Nvidia. Like, I don't even see ASTS on there. Oh, there it is, right on the end. Meanwhile, ASTS is moving the most, up 5% and still running. And somehow the mask is in there with as many. But $ and then whatever symbol it might be, everybody. That's all you gotta do. And we got another one. And this one's from another super chat, that is. Palantir Queen, 1999. Everyone likes the 99 these days. Merry Christmas to everyone at Trader TV. I've been watching you every trading day since I started trading full-time in June. Awesome. Congratulations to you. Appreciate you as well so much. Palantir Queen in the house. Hey, with that, before we throw back to, we'll go back to the desk in a second, but Palantir Queen, I got to make an assumption that we should at least have a cursory look at Palantir right now because of that super chat. Can we come to the chart of Palantir? Ramin's too busy celebrating. Because I think Ramin won, from what I heard, in the scratch and win. Yeah, so she actually won on the Joey Options scratch and say win. I'm letting my daughter do it because she enjoys it way too much, so I'll be taking that one home. But Palantir, it's actually flat today. There isn't anything. But Palantir Queen, we can have a look, see if there's anything too interesting. Another almost 2 full days of barcoding. This really needs to get through 195. If you can bust 195, it obviously has a pretty big gap to fill. But that's been outside of 20 minutes or so 2 days ago. 195 has been big resistance on Palantir. Maybe that can bust at the open, get a little quick scalp trade, but it doesn't seem to be that much in play. That's the only concern. Thank you so much for the super chat, Palantir Queen.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, I love Palantir. Palantir is my queen, that's for sure. There's 30 portions, like there's 30 sandwiches there, and there's like 5 people in today. So yeah, if you ever want some
way too much food,
come over here to Trader TV Live. You get your food there.
And our breakfast.
Yeah, and there's the breakfast there. There's like bagel. It's like crazy. It just makes me. I hate the waste, but yeah, that's a problem. So, anyways, all right, let's go back over to the desk. 87.3 now. Bitcoin trying to go upside as well as the Nasdaq just turns green. So we do have our watch list out. So I think we're going to be going over that very, very soon. But let's go back over the desk, see what they're up to.
Let's talk quickly here about Lockheed Martin getting a nice boost to some of their defense funding from the Department of Defense. So they've received an additional $10 billion contract modification, which increases the total value of the contract to $25 billion. For what, you might be asking? The C-130J aircraft program. It's going to cover combined aircraft delivery, development and integration, engineering. They make this thing in Marietta, Georgia, and they're actually looking at completing the program in 2035, which offers them a multi-year runway of revenue. So a good look. They're going to be selling it to other countries as well, not just the United States. We're talking about Egypt, Australia, New Zealand, France, Philippines, Norway, Germany. So good look for LMT here, Adara, up 0.5%.
Yeah, not a ton of volume on this. There usually isn't anyway. About 3,000 shares so far traded on the day. But just some more more news here in this story. Contract is going to be managed here by the Air Force Life Cycle Management Center at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base over in Ohio. So it's also worth noting here, no immediate funding was obliged at the time of the award. So what that means here is cash flow is going to be recognized as task orders and funding increments are issued. That, I think, is pretty key. And even though there is some delay funding mechanics, the expanded ceiling does significantly de-risk long-term production planning. We know LMT stock was kind of beat up earlier this year. It's been trading between 400 and 500 for the past little while.
All right, guys, let's have a look at the futures as we get closer to 9 o'clock. 69.61. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES March contract as we continue to accumulate south of that 75-point area of technical resistance. That is the high that we got into on the 11th of this month as we look to take out 69.75. So that'll be our first area of resistance, our level 1. If we continue to sell off, we put in a bit of a top yesterday at about 69.37 the day prior, excuse me. We're going to use that 30 to 25 point area, guys, as support. All right, guys, make sure to get the watch list every day sent directly to your inbox. Adara prepares it and we all use it. It helps you organize your day, lets you know what's running, and of course, no good morning routine is complete without a watch list. Let's talk about the first name here on the morning rundown, NVIDIA and Intel. NVIDIA halts 18A testing where it's putting in the Foundry narrative in question. So Reuters reported that NVIDIA stopped testing Intel's 18A manufacturing process, one of their most advanced nodes. It injected, of course, fresh skepticism into Intel's near-term Foundry credibility. So here's what happened. NVIDIA had already been evaluating whether its chips could be manufactured on Intel's 18A node, but they ultimately did not proceed. This is more of the story that we had already heard earlier this year, where they had been testing this, but it didn't meet their standards. Intel responded saying, look, our 18A technology is progressing well, though it offered no specific explanation. Separately, I can tell you guys that, in my research, it really does come down to the yield. Intel's yield for their 18A node has been markedly lower than the comparable Taiwan Semi, which is the 3 nanometer. So companies still preferring to stick with what's tried and true under TSMC. What more can you tell us about this, Adara?
Yeah, what I want to say here that's pretty interesting is this section here with NVIDIA briefly, or I guess at one point testing this 18A process. This is actually like a 2-paragraph footnote, if you will, and a much longer piece by Reuters, which is kind of a retrospective in terms of how Lip-Bu Tan was able, or of course the CEO of Intel, was really able to get U.S. government investment. Now, this report goes very, very in-depth. I do recommend you read it if you're interested in the topic, in terms of how Lip-Bu Tan formed the relationship with the president, reportedly calling Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella and NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, both of whom are close to the president, to kind of give him a leg up. It's also worth noting here too, Sharif, what's interesting about this 18A process test is we already sort of had Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, address this when NVIDIA first announced its partnership with Intel. Jensen basically saying we're happy with Taiwan Semi. So this isn't a huge surprise, but it hasn't really been worded in such clear terms as they're no longer testing it right now.
It is not the end of the relationship between the two companies, though. There is still a product deal between Intel and NVIDIA, but not a foundry deal separately. Intel will continue developing its custom x86C processors for NVIDIA's GPU server rack. So no foundry business for the GPU guys, but they're going to continue providing them with CPUs.
We're fine. This news just basically tells you they're still behind. They've been playing catch up for years now, and they're getting closer. If you compare them, where they were like 3 or 4 years ago relative to TSM, they have done some catching up on the foundry side. It's just they told you that they're going to be delayed a bit. The U.S. government still has a stake, and they still have a partnership. They still have the connection with NVIDIA. Unfortunately, the yields need to get higher. They probably need to get to that 65 to 70% range, which they're not close to. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So Intel, probably the only thing that was on news gapping and doing good volume, it's a relatively big cap name early on today. So it was like the first thing looked at when we sat down. And the last little bit, it's kind of been a short anyways. It's been trending down. You get a flat bottom break through 36 here, or a gap through the level. You're not really flat bottom breaking it. And then you had this wick here, the 35.65. So that's the area I'm looking short. It's into that prior low, so go to the 18th, that low into 36. That's the gap I want to fade in Intel. And again, it just comes down to this was already selling off relative to some of the other chips. I mean, yesterday you had, remember all this strength? Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA was just all up all day long, just super, super strong. And even if you look at something like an AMD, after catching the bottom, it was able to recover pretty nicely back into the highs. It's right back to where we were yesterday. So you're just seeing a bit of a difference here between Intel and the other names. So I would favor this one into that 35.65 prior low from the 18th, and then the 36. That's the area of interest for me to short the pop on Intel, any move higher.
All right, so I just have, just put the sticky note out as well. I'm looking to get Intel short. I put down $36. So, bad press from the U.S. Commerce Department and NVIDIA manufacturing pause. Darren and Sharif just sort of went over all that. You can get all the notes, of course, in our watch list. But yeah, I'm going to be short on Intel today for sure. It might even be right off the open. People are going to be looking for something to do. The only problem is when everyone's looking in the same space, maybe it's not right. But like 36 is not that far away, although we may not even come close to getting there. Like we may have to use VWAP, the 200 period. And again, like I come in and I write this note, I have to understand that this is always going to be ticking down. So it's just hard for me to find out where exactly the price is going to be at 9:30 when we're making the notes at 8 a.m. But like $36 was something that I thought from yesterday could be an area just where it held, like yesterday, the long 36 was awesome. And then now today you get a lit one, well, not awesome, but it was something. And then today you get news hovering this thing below now $36. So if we can get up into this area, maybe it's 35.80, maybe it's 35.60. Let's just play it off the jump. But again, like if everybody's thinking one way, sometimes, you know, it gets pulled the other way. So let's just, hopefully that's the case for Intel and it does get going a little bit and we can short a better price than the open. But yeah, the only negative story, like everybody that's sitting in a chair similar to us is probably thinking, okay, what am I trading today? They look for the volume, they look for the stories. Intel's there.
Intel and ASTS are like the two biggest movers.
Yeah, so I would say that Intel is something that we have to look at, you know, with a careful edge today. And let's just see if it pops. If it pops, then we'll play the short. I'm not really willing to smack that 35, but you know, the imbalances are like, we're still 25 minutes away. When those imbalances hit at 9.25, I think that'll be a good take there. So yeah, I'm on Intel, I'm on the short. Let's just see what the price action is. I'll be short at some point today.
Nike disclosing a fresh round of insider purchases. Specifically, I'm going to talk about independent director Tim Cook. Yes, we're talking about Timmy C of Apple. He bought 50,000 shares at $59.87 a pop, investing a little bit less than $3 million. This all took place on the 22nd of December. Just to give you a little bit of insight here as what it means to be an independent director versus a regular or inside director. So typically, an inside or a regular director is employed at the company. For example, CEO Elliot Hill also sits on the board. He's CEO, whereas Timmy C, not an employee. Conflict of interest also fundamentally different, whereas the regular or the inside director relies on the company for the paycheck as well as their, the lifeline of the company. The independent director doesn't have a vested interest in the actual employment part. Of course, they have an investment part. Their primary goal is also a little bit different. To execute the company's strategy is the goal of the inside or the regular director, whereas the independent director like Timmy C is to protect shareholder value and provide unbiased oversight. There was also another independent director, Adara, who made a purchase, but not as much.
Let's talk here about Robert Swan, who was said independent director. He purchased 8,691 shares at $57.74. Same day, that's worth roughly $500,000. He also serves as, this is kind of interesting, guys, serves as the chair of Nike's Audit and Finance Committee, and he's actually designated as a financial expert under rules by the SEC. Apparently, year-to-date, Nike's still down roughly 24%. This comes about a week or so after its earnings report. And it's also worth noting here that this purchase is viewed as aligning with the win now strategy that Nike has adopted.
Which exactly it. So guys, accumulation by insiders at low levels is not a hard and fast rule, but it typically suggests management believes the market is mispricing the price of the stock and they're looking for a near-term upside.
Yeah, that's what it means. And if that's true, then the market's been mispricing it for a long time, everybody, because it's been going down. That said, that doesn't mean it isn't set up for something that could be constructive. We always talk about give it a couple of days after they report, and well, seemingly this insider buying's given us the bottom. Because without it, I don't know that this would have held today without this catalyst. Like that one of the weaker names in the market basically just sat right down there at the lows yesterday and wasn't looking very good. I think without this, maybe you have a chance to break it. So on light volume on a day like today with Nike, I think you just want to make sure this isn't like a weak gap where it's gapping up on this light story, but there's no actual follow-through buyers that are confirming this low at 57. I need to be convinced. If it's not above like 60, 61, like this support here on the daily chart, which had been pretty good, if it doesn't get back there in the next couple of days, then I'd be highly, highly skeptical of this. But I do think there is a lot of room for them to get back some of what they were. It's just a very tough business when it comes to apparel and brands. Usually, when you have a fall off, you don't usually get back to the heights that you were before. You can go back and there can be a recovery, but the chances of them being like the Nike that we remember, like that kind of a height, I think if you set your sights lower than that, there's a possibility. But I'm not completely convinced until we see some actual buyers come in, and maybe not even today would convince me. It might even need to see that in the new year, some fresh buying in the new year that breaks this trend for me. I'm passing on Nike.
Yeah, Nike, for the year, it's $73 to $57. You still do have some sort of a chance, to hold these levels. But I mean, I just did the math there. We have it written down on our note here, $58.97, so $59 a share is where Tim Cook's in at. And it brings his holdings to just over 1 million shares. 100,000 shares, 106,000 shares times $60 is 6 million. So basically, he doubled his position down here right now. No idea what his average price is. It can't be very good. But if he's doubled his position at these levels, then maybe, and as Sharif said, the insiders know more than the outsiders. So if he's in there dipping his toes. Now, like $3 million to Tim Cook is basically like me going out and buying a cup of coffee, or maybe even might even be more dramatic than that. So I don't consider it like a huge deal. It might have been just a scheduled buy that he was planning on doing heading into the first quarter. I don't know what the play is for Nike right now, but yeah, you have the Olympics, you've got FIFA coming through, the World Cup as well. So I could imagine that there's something going on there. And, I don't want to think that there's like now something that's going to happen between Apple and Nike, because that seems to be like a little bit off. It shouldn't be buying the shares ahead of, like, it's not enough money. There's like, you'd get in trouble, I think, if anything like that is happening. So I would just say he probably likes the company. Maybe his kids told him to buy it or something, who knows. But yeah, Nike, I don't think it's worth doing anything. If you're going to buy, wait for World Cup.
Kids even like Nike anymore?
Yeah.
Are they still that big of a deal?
Yeah.
I found like,
all the kids at my kids' school wears Nikes.
I was looking at not as much at my daughter's school, and certainly for the sports, I found it's a little bit more diverse than it was when we were younger. Like when we were younger, like Nike dominated. Obviously, Nike dominated. But now, like when you see the kids play sports, it's really not as common. But
yeah, I'll take a look next time when all the girls do their warm up for the hockey. I'll
good
see
channel
what
check, I find.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think it's still. Baxter asks, like my 23-year-old asked for Nikes, and anyways, yeah, probably not as popular as it once used to be. I mean, they got to have a whole refresh, a whole brand refresh. So yeah, Nike's still kicking around, but yeah, near those lows. We'll see if they can kick off here the new year with a fresh outlook for Nike. We'll see if Tim Cook is right on this one.
All right, let's talk UiPath. They are set to join the S&P MidCap 400 at the start of next year, with the effective change taking place before trading begins on the 2nd of January. Here's a few of the requirements you need to get into the MidCap 400. You got to have a market cap of between $8 billion and $22.7 billion. You also have to be profitable in the last 4 quarters. Your public float has to be 50% of which is available for trading by the public, so you can't be, putting in 10% of the float like we saw with SoftBank. Liquidity, you also have to be highly liquid, as well as domiciled in the United States and listed on an approved exchange. We're talking about the NYSE, the Nasdaq, the OTC market. Shout out to Jeff Mendel. This is going to replace as well Synovus Financial Adera, and they're set to be acquired by Pinnacle Financial Partners.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit here about the context leading up to PATH being added to this index, because it's had a really great year. It's up about 26% in the year, but especially over the last month, up 17%. Now, earlier this month, I believe on December 3rd, the company did report better than expected earnings. Then they also actually had on September 30th partnerships with both OpenAI and Snowflake. So nice run here for PATH. I think certainly the catalyst backing this up, this addition here to the S&P MidCap 400. Nice way to end the year, I guess, to start the year, new year for PATH.
Yeah, so this company, in case anybody doesn't really follow it, they they have good enterprise demand workflow automation. They improve cost efficiency within corporations, and they have a suite of AI-enabled productivity tools, guys. So fitting nicely into that AI trade.
Man, ooh, there's the little Black Panther. You got to put it, you can't see it that well, Joe, because it's in front of the Magic 8 Ball. But that's from Obi. Obi got some ornaments. Sean got Obi got Sean. It was the coasters.
Yep.
I got a Star Wars ornament. Shout out to that. That's just weird. Oh, come on, bro.
Oh no, bro. Oh, that's a bad angle, bro. Oh no, I'm getting to ride the horse, not the other. Come on, man. Bad angle.
And then the this is a.
Yeah,
You might think it's the actual game.
wholesome coasters there.
All right.
That just happened. No, okay, so back to UiPath before things get out of hand. Look, it's not effective till the end of the year, right? So the big closing day, that'll happen on the 31st, right? So as of the first of the year, it'll be in the S&P 400, I believe it is. Yeah, the S&P 400. There's probably enough juice a lot of times to get it to local highs and then worry about the sell-off that comes usually from selling the news or selling the actual edition. But UiPath has been telling you 19 for a while. Go all the way back. May died at 19, and then it's got a bit of a double at the top as well. So it's definitely headed toward that level. It's decent enough volume today, but as you can see, it's already backsliding without catching a bid. So it's not necessarily the one that I want on my radar. I don't love the notion of falling knives. It's one thing if it's on an uptrend, getting a dip in an uptrend, but it's already filling in the gap. So it would have to find a bid really quickly at the prior highs, the way it's been falling off. Maybe they're already selling the news and not even waiting till the end of the year.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at too much at UiPath, but I do know that Cathie Wood has been a little bit on fire since this year has started. So there it is right here. The RKQQ ETF right now was $80 or so at the beginning of the year, and you're up to 120 right now. So outpacing the Nasdaq, outpacing the S&P 500 is Miss Cathie Wood. So, and I guess UiPath is part of that story as well. So I don't know. I have to go check out what all the holdings are in this ETF as well. But there it is. You can zoom out and get a longer base on this as well. But this year, so far, so good here for UiPath and for ARK, right? I mean, this is $77 actually at the beginning of the year, up to 120 right now. So it's a good bid there underneath Cathie Wood's ETF, Palantir, Tesla, all the usual suspects kicking in there. So yeah, we definitely like ARK. We'll see if that heading into the new year. I think it's probably a little overdone on that, but some of these names continue to improve, and the Russell's been really hot fire as well as some of these smaller cap names just continue to be upgraded and sort of graduating up into these new exchanges. So congratulations on UiPath there joining the S&P 400. So yeah, pretty soon probably the S&P 500, right? I mean, we'll figure out what's going on. But yeah,
I can tell you who's not.
Which?
Well, if you look at what's next on our rundown, I'm going to guess that none of those names are going into any indexes anytime soon. I feel pretty confident about that. I'm talking about direct cannabis names.
Yeah, they're not going.
There's indirect cannabis names, which are quality companies that are adjacent to the space. Cannabis may be on watch, but not for the S&P.
Fit that profitability requirement, Neil. Yeah, so I got to side with you on that one. Let's talk about this story, though. President Donald Trump has directed his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to finalize a decision on marijuana rescheduling by the end of January. The EO instructs the DOJ to complete all required rulemaking steps to move marijuana to Schedule 3, as we've spoken about many times. A Schedule 3 reclassification would materially change the operating environment for some of these cannabis companies, especially around taxation, compliance, and banking access era here, but it doesn't really seem to be moving the needle lately.
Well, it's interesting because this actually did move the stocks when it first came out around 2:55 p.m. yesterday. As you can see here in this TLRY chart, this report comes up from the Marijuana Herald. It's worth noting here, guys, for some more context, any rescheduling that does happen must be formally completed through Department of Justice. So the timeline does still carry procedural and legal risks. The markets are reacting to increased clarity and urgency, but final implementation has not happened yet. And it is worth noting that the wording of this report specifically said final ruling. So kind of unclear here either way, that we know, of course, there was an executive order signed last week suggesting that this rescheduling is very likely to happen here. And again, it's also worth noting here, publicly traded cannabis names include ACB, CGC, CRON, TLRY, and of course the ETF MSOS, the leverage version MSOX.
All right, guys, you punching into any of these? What's the look?
I think if anything goes ham, like if I see something that just randomly breaks out, or maybe you get like a halt indicator, like jump over to that just to take a shot at it. Or not, you don't have to take a shot at it, but just to look at it. Like it's not happening on MSOS. Right now you're just essentially consolidating yesterday's move. But let's just, if we see, like if I see a halt in MSOS, because oftentimes what will happen is this will halt and the other names don't. Like MSOS will halt much more easily than like Tilray will or CGC will. And there's sometimes an opportunity. Like if I see it pop up in my halt locator, and I always have it up here, thank you to Real Trading for this. Right now, RBNE, whatever that is apparently unhalted. Don't even know what that stock is. But if I see MSOS pop up, first thing I do is go over to Tilray or CGC and see if I can't catch a bit of a move. You know, just either a quick punch in or maybe buy a quick little dip because I know it's going to be in play. So that's my approach. There's nothing suggesting right now that it wants to break out, but it's a pure momentum play, and you take advantage of it quickly because it tends to revert rather fast. That's just how they roll. So yeah, I'm using the halt indicator as my basis because the last couple of times MSOS has halted and you've had a quick little chance to get a piece of the move on like a Tilray or a CGC. So I'll be more reactionary there because there's not enough volume or movement today on specifically the group.
Yeah, look, I mean, the Grinch is green. The Grinch likes some green, I guess. I have no idea. But yeah, there goes Tilray. Again, another 1.2%. I think this could be a name to look at for the new year for sure, as Cannabis has been hot for the last little bit here in December, as we talk about getting reclassified and whatnot. This is a 5-minute chart. You know, it's funny you say like Cannabis has been hot. It's just that's 40% right there in 2 days, in a week downside. So we were at the $15, and now you're all the way back down to 10. It's like, it's just amazing. Like if a normal stock actually moved this much, we'd be like in full-blown panic city. Like this was back in the 18th. Like it's the 24th today. This was $15. Now it's back down to $10 again. So like, I don't know what's going on. This is right before the announcement. We gave it all back. You know, I was basically trying to tell everybody, like, when this happened, you got to get out. Like, you know, we got super chats. We got, whenever MSOS pops, all this kind of stuff, it's like, take advantage of the pops, man, because, you know, this is what the long-term chart of Tilray, you know, looks like. And it's just, it's nasty, right? I mean, sure, that's good. Like, we split there, 1 to 10 down here. It's just like, if you go over, let's just go over a monthly chart. I mean, Tilray had its boom, like when marijuana was legalized and all this kind of stuff, it was crazy. Like we got up to $3,000, and this is always split adjusted pricing, right? But like that's $3,000. It's $10 today, you know? So like this has been a real rough ride for the space. But then if you zoom in just a little bit closer, of course, and you look at a daily chart for Tilray, you'll see that we're well off. I mean, its low right there is 350. So you're not even close to that. So it has had, you know, if you're going to talk about a year, its year hasn't been great, of course, but it's a nice move upside. And if we go all the way back to 25 right here to start the year, you know, you're at that $14 or $15 mark. You just had an opportunity to break even on it. Then it came right back in. So I don't know if these spikes are going to come back at all, but I think it's just a shot in the dark here with Tilray and some of these cannabis names. You either believe in this space and you know more about it than I do, or you don't hold the shares at all. Or you go short. I don't think it's a long. So, but if you guys like that, then all good right now. Tesla's in Santa Claus mode. Is it going upside right there today? I don't know. Let's have a quick look on Tesla.
It's been trending up for the last.
Yeah, 488. Yeah, Tesla could get going. I mean, we weren't expecting this one. Nasdaq being flat, Tesla up right here 0.5%. So yeah, maybe this is the name that goes today. We'll see. Right now for Tesla, but all right. ASTS. Here we go. Appropriately titled to the moon.
Probably not that far.
No.
Good look here for AST, Space Mobile ASTS, as the boys were mentioning, after they launched Bluebird 6. This is the largest ever satellite to be deployed in low Earth orbit. It's capable of delivering high-speed 4G and 5G cell phone signal directly to unmodified smartphones. We've been talking a lot about this on the midday show, the disruption to current telecom companies from the likes of Elon Musk and now ASTS. The satellite, which is thrice the size and has 10 times the capacity of the 6 satellites that it currently has in orbit, launched from India, guys. Launched on a Vehicle Mark III rocket. The company said the satellite is designed to enable peak data rates of up to 120 megabits a second directly to standard unmodified mobile devices supporting voice, full data, and video applications from space. Adara, not a bad look.
Not a bad look at all. And apparently this successful launch of the Bluebird 6 does mark the start of AST Space Mobile's next execution phase, which is going to keep the company on track to deploy 45 to 60 satellites by the end of 2026. They're going to do a launch every month or 2 months. And it's also worth noting this company has a lot of deals with a lot of heavy hitters. Apparently nearly 3 billion subscribers are represented across their base. They do have strategic partnerships with AT&T, Verizon, Vodafone, Rakuten, Alphabet, American Tower Corporation. So lots of partnerships here and lots of deals for AST Space Mobile. Looks like they're only ready to grow in 26.
All right, guys, 5%, $90 high here in the pre-market. What's the setup?
Well, I mean, the same thing we talked about with Intel kind of applies to ASTS too. Like, there's not a ton that is moving or gapping in a larger way. So that 5%, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. Weirdly enough, it's not weirdly enough. I liked it better when it was at 88. I'm being real about it, because it had a clean double top that I think you could pull back into. I was like, yeah, you look at the double top at 87, you're sitting at 88, kind of go long off that for a bit of a push. Well, in the event that that push has happened, I'm still hopeful that we get like one little dip and rip, like a microcosm of what happened yesterday, where you get this dip and then absolute like rip your face off to get back to the high. I'm looking for something like that off the 87, 88 area on ASTS. I think as a proxy, I might also look at Rocket Lab as, like, if this doesn't come back and give some kind of a VWAP trade or a dip into that prior high, then RKLB could end up being a bit of a backup, because that's got a similar like double top from the last couple of days, and that's at 78. So it can play off that 78 if it turns out that ASTS has already gone to the moon and I've missed it. So yeah, I'll be looking at these two names. There's not a heck of a lot that's going to be gapping higher, and also has trend going with it. The entire space, not region, but group of stocks have been incredibly strong. For the last, I mean, it's not even just the last few weeks. Like, they've all been strong for the last couple of months in here and making fresh highs. So ASTS has a chance to get to highs. Rocket Lab, of course, is already broke, but those are the two I'm watching.
Yeah, like I had ASTS written down here at, like, I wrote it down earlier, and I thought I was writing down like pretty conservative, or actually aggressive, prices with 85 and 86. And now we've just taken off here. Volatile open, I thought we could definitely get this 85 to 86 range there. Successful launch. I think these are just getting started, right? As we get mobile, it's going to be more and more popular. Internet up in the sky, the communications between satellites needs to be made, and if ASTS can get that going and just kind of like be the fiber of the sky, I think that's just a great opportunity for them. And obviously that story has been told all year. Nice move. Like this has been like $20 up to 90. So just a great move for ASTS. Sure, we're not at the highs, but you got to be happy with the way this name has moved in the last week. So from $60 up to 90, that's 50% right there in a week. There are names that we have to watch out for. ASTS, RKLB, like it's too late to be like, this is the new space, because I just told you it went 50% in a week. But like Rocket Lab also, saying, hey, hold our beer. We're doing the exact same thing. We just went from $50 to $78 on Rocket Lab in that same week. So if you come over, was that Ramin over there? Come over here and just like, there goes Rocket Lab, right? So we have the robotics tailwind, we have the space, and it's just going to continue to go higher, especially with SpaceX and Tesla thinking about an IPO. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Make sure you do hit the subscribe. We're trying to get to that 5. I mean, I don't know if we can do it today. It'd be nice if we could. Yo, what's up, Donald? Right here. Like, even Donald's got his... Oh, that's not from today? Oh, okay, hold on a second. Oh, if I refresh it, it's going to show the show playing. Oh, no, here it is. Okay. Oh, she changed it.
Oh, yeah,
Jensen right there. Happy Santa Claus rally there. I'm going to hit the like button. But see, it's 548,000 subscribers. So if you have not hit that, man, over 6,000 watching right now, hit the like button.
You brought gifts.
And then also hit the subscribe. Like, we could do that today. Let's do that today for Christmas, man. All of you guys have been watching. Most of the viewers that have been watching have been, hitting the subscribe button. Let's keep that going. All right, so just some early trades, man. Oh, we do have the imbalances. Let's just check those out really now quickly to see if anything else changed. Nike with a big buy. That might be the thing. That could definitely slow down right? You know, it's getting held up by this bid right now. So we'll see if that does hold out. We just talked about MSOS. That's the weed names. Other than that, man, I was hoping to see a little Apple or Nvidia or Meta on here, but yeah, this is bad. Like normal, not bad, just light. Like we'll see millions on here when it's important. And today there's nothing. Snapchat down to $7. I like Snapchat at $7. But yeah, okay, there we go. That BIL is just a treasury, so there's nothing going on with that.
Every day.
Yeah, it just gets hidden. Like we don't normally care about it. We don't either today again. But yeah, so I'm looking for. I just want to go over a couple quick trades. Throw back 1 minute left. Intel, any short that we can get, we'll wait for a pop. Google, any kind of long we can get, we'll wait for a dip. I'm at 314 right now. ASTS with the bid, and then the Qs with the bid. But the Nasdaq's falling down a little bit, so maybe let's give this a little bit of time. I think it's going to be range bound, and that's not rocket science. The market does close today at 1 p.m.
That's right. Just over 30 seconds to go. Nvidia just dropped about $1, so that's getting back in. One of the strongest names in the market. That's going to bring the market back a little bit. Someone had asked about silver. I'm going to go with exactly what happened the last couple of days. If it trends down, I'm just looking for a trend reversal. It's been selling off every single morning, and it already filled in the gap once. So any trend down, the second I see a trend break, I just want to try that long. Silver, another all-time high. Whatever, it's how many times have we said it? Silver just continues to make all-time highs. So it's the day before Christmas, and we're about to see whether the market wants to give us the goods. Ring that opening bell right about now.
Yeah, our opening bell is brought to you by Origenics. So shout out to Origenics, and thank you for your continued sponsorship up in here. All right, so yeah, we're ready to go, man. We're kicking out now. The market has opened up. Google does make that move through 314 as the market pulling back quite aggressively. This is the level that I wrote down. So we could be long right now. I'm going to give it a second just to make sure that we are. Look at the Nasdaq, though. The Nasdaq is popping right there. Is it Tesla? Okay, so Google's the one going downside. Tesla's going upside.
Tesla just hit 491, but already
491. Okay.
Wow, that was crazy. 490 to 489 to 490 and a half. Like it's all over the place. Liquidity is interesting so far here. I'm just kind of chuckling looking at the tape here. But going absolutely crazy is Tesla to the upside. Nvidia continues to fall. So that's still looking incredibly weak. There has no pop whatsoever in Intel to try to get short. I'm sitting at 55, 35, 55. So Nvidia going down, Intel not really giving you a chance to get in. ASTS is gone.
Oh, is it?
91.5. Where's Rocket Lab? Remember, if that goes, I'm going to take a shot at Rocket Labs here if I can. So Rocket Lab broke. Might try to jump into this one off of VWAP, because if ASTS is already gonzo, you might have to play a sympathy play. So a bit of a breakout here happening on RKLB. Like look at ASTS. So by the way, when we say ASTS, we're talking about ASTS.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Obviously.
I'm going to give Intel a little bit of room here. We're short at 10s. I played real small. Like again, it's 9:31. I'm not trying to. I even said like we're gonna have to try to be patient today. So we're not gonna, sort of blow this off right here to too high. Like I'm not gonna let this thing really get going. That pre-market high is 35.60 right into there. So that's the 200 period moving average. So we'll get a couple shares as it gets into that space. But, the one move that went to the downside that did surprise me the most, of course, was Google. So that just kicked right through that 314. And this is like, I'm done sitting here. Even though I marked down 314 that I liked it, like I'm done sitting there like getting run over if these kind of things happen. So now we just have to wait to see, what exactly the information that Google wants to give us is available or not at these levels. So here, okay.
A big reversal by Tesla.
Okay, well, yeah, and it's a big reversal by Intel as Intel just shoots right up. So my average price right here is 25. Like I'd be pretty happy with that, but we're coming into those pre-market highs of 60 again right now. We did initially want to wait till 36s as we wrote that down.
Wow, Tesla.
Yeah. Oh, big. Okay, go over to Niels because this is just going higher.
Yeah, I mean, I'm into Intel as well, as that's starting to really come to the upside. But I got to show you guys Tesla because I'm sure a lot of people, I didn't even look at the chat, but a lot of people are probably watching that. Rocket Lab just failed, so it looks like it's going to be ASTS and nothing else, everybody. But I'm just showing you, look at the reaction. Remember I told you how bad liquidity was on Tesla on the way up? Thank goodness no chase. Because there was nobody. It was going higher, but there was nobody on the bid. Like, that's the wild thing about it. But here comes the gap fill on NVIDIA. Sorry, NVIDIA. I want to keep Tesla up here because I think there might be a reversion play for us. But here comes that gap fill for Intel. 36, that's the prior low. I'm in at the $0.50 right now off of this prior high. on Intel, but wow, that is one heck of a rejection on Tesla. You do not see that very often, I got to tell you. That's wild, because it's not even like it was.
What price did it reject that?
There was no specific price. Like it broke 490, but the body is here at 488.50. Like that's what's so crazy about it. Insane.
Yeah, the market went all the way up into those pre-market highs as well and faded back out. And then, like, what a little dramatic move there, Nasdaq off the open, all the way up, all the way down. Like we just moved like basically 100. That's 25,780. And that's 25,830. So actually, it's not, as far as a handle move, it's not that much, but it's just pretty dramatic back and forth. It just shows you that there isn't so much liquidity hanging out in this market right now. So we're in trouble here with Intel because
there's no liquidity.
We wrote down 36, and this is just drifting higher here, trying to test the old patience.
By the way, ASTS just gapped the whole thing as well.
Back in?
Yes. Okay. ASTS just dropped $4 too. Like everything is, like the strong stocks are gap filling the other way. So you know what? I hate being front end of this trade. It's like annoying being front end of this trade, but might just have to let a couple of candles come in to settle it down. Because like I said, liquidity is an absolute premium. I know Sidhu is one of the names. Sidus Space is the name of the company. They had an offer in a couple of days. I know that's one of the top names people are looking at. It's through $2. It's also breaking higher. We're also talking about Tim Cook and Nike. Trying to cover some other things. Nike's up 3.5%, and that's also going higher. That's looking very strong. Tim Cook making a stake, and then it was something Swan was the name of the other executive.
Robert Swan.
I apologize in advance. I'm only chuckling because one of my favorite characters on Mad TV was Mrs. Swan, and that's the only reason I remember that other guy's name. Like, oh yeah, Mrs. Swan. Mad TV was a great show.
Yeah, I didn't. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about Mad TV. Like, it was just one of those things where I was in it, but
what? No.
No. Like, I know Mad TV, but like I don't know the characters like the same way I know like in Living Color or like the Chappelle Show. Or I know, and I love Key and Peele, man.
I'm just surprised. That's all.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. That's why I said that because I'm like fully here to say like
Tesla is
off.
Oh my goodness! I can only imagine if you took a Tesla breakout today. Wow. Like, if you took any kind of a breakout on Tesla,
it is doing something.
That is nasty. That is absolutely the poke it doing nothing stick. What, are we crazy?
Yeah. No, it's good look, but yeah, it's doing something for sure. We are now in the money on Intel, like believe it or not. We've taken hits though on it, so I had to average some out, man. Like it went right to 36. Like if I was just honestly,
I hate the front end of the trade.
Christmas, like I was gonna say, like New Year's resolution, but like I've already made this. Like I need to be a lot more patient with the levels. Like, and I said even to Marissa, like poor my wife. Like she's always had to listen to me talk, and it's just like she knows the business. We met actually trading. It's just like getting involved way too early into these names, and I was just like, well, maybe nothing's going to be happening today, so I wanted to punch that short in Google, and then we averaged it back, in Intel, and then we averaged it right back in right here once it hit the 50, and then the 200 is like, I like that, and then I look over to my note, and I'm like, well, now we're at 36, so this is the level that I actually like, so I'm not going to punch out on the way up as we get into 36. So, excuse me, we try to do our best to average in without last thing you want to do is put like a 4-figure hit or something on your head right to start off on Christmas Eve. So we're going to cash some out right now, and you can cash me outside on this trade. And I'm just going to take a little bit more out.
Bitcoin's dying.
Not yet, money yet. But yeah, we are starting to do it now to the downside. Let's see how far this one can go. But yeah, great look on Tesla, finding the sort of the hot mover early.
We got a super chat in there. I don't know if we can throw that one up from Micron. I'm not on the page. I was just looking at, honestly, Tesla. But Micron is absolutely flying. So look, there's actual movement. The Nasdaq might not be doing much. We've basically just gone back and forth and rinsed the overnight levels here on the NQ. Same thing with the ES, but Micron going absolutely ham. There was no particular catalyst I'm aware of, but it's another day and another all-time high for Micron. The memory space is definitely winning. I'm just gonna quickly double check back on silver. Yeah, it's still going down. All right, so don't wanna catch a falling knife here. We'll let this one settle. Again, a lot of things are showing a distinct lack of liquidity. And when that's happening, you don't want to get too wrapped up trying to like guess at a bottom. I'll look for some kind of a turn, like a bottoming tail candle down here. But you're at support on silver. So I'm looking to engage in this in some kind of a dip buy, just not yet. Like I might need to see another candle through the low instead of when we're at the absolute low. We're getting another super chat.
Yeah,
I really got to
like
get that page up so I can throw them up there as well. But thank you very much. 69.
Yeah, no, $69.
Thank you for all you do.
Yeah,
$69, and then the most
Z124
name ever.
Yeah,
then
sleeping
V's
124. 124.
I was able to get a good reload on Intel there. It did another. Intel just came
went to
right
80
in.
again, eh?
Same
Yeah.
topping tail, but it can't bust VWAP. If it can't break VWAP, then I should be out at least half in front of the volume weighted average price on Intel. So I'm going to do that. So I'm now out of half. I was only taking a quarter. A lot of times for Intel, I'll want to hold to the low, but I feel like today, if you get something on that opening push, I'm going to grab half out, then I want the other half out into 35. ASTS, where's my It's a Trap button? I don't even have it up there.
What? You don't?
Where is my
It used to be like the thing you hit all the time.
Thank you.
There it is.
You
You got to find it on your own.
No,
though.
but what a trap that was.
Oh, is it back to 85 yet?
Okay, why is it still going? No, it's back. It is back to 85, but I don't know why that kept on going. Complete false breakout on that.
I actually like that 85. 85 is what we wrote down for ASTS, so it's right there right now. I mean, we wrote down literally 85 to 86, so maybe if we're going to do that, we said that we would be a little patient on these kind of trades today. So ASTS right there. We can step in, you know, as Neil and Sharif, and I guess everybody likes to say wet to the beak in and around these areas. But all right, so I'm going to go to 84.75. If we break that, then we're going to get out. So we're going to try to see what winds up happening right now. Oops, it's already going down through 84.75. Okay, well, here we go. ASTS definitely hitting the slopes right now to that downside. So yeah, just trying to get this all figured out and see what winds up happening on a stop out. Let's just try to use 84 then. We don't have that many shares, but yeah, it's definitely gone against us.
You
so
shouldn't say wet the beak.
Not good.
Because you're not like Don Finucci. Don Finucci was a punk.
Okay.
He's the guy from Godfather 2.
Right. I need to do better. I didn't know. Wetting the beak. Do we even know where that came from?
It's Godfather 2. Don Finucci.
Oh, that scene.
The dude
yeah.
was literally like, he was such a
paying
douche.
somebody, isn't it?
Yeah. He was like, you make sure you wet my beak.
ASTS is going to go down here.
And then what's his name goes, wow, silver can't catch a bid. The market's catching a bid, but everything I'm looking at cannot seem to catch one. Nvidia's going down.
We want Intel to catch an ask here.
I'm still befuddled by what's going on here with Tesla. Tesla continues to drop. Tesla now at 481. I feel like on a day like today, you just need one good turn and you're good to go. But I'm going to stay away from them and stick with the one that I was more interested in initially, which is silver. So just looking for any kind of a bottoming tail candle here to try to get in. Still, Intel won't break VWAP, so took half out there and it's bouncing off VWAP again. I might give it one more reload. Up in that 3/4 range, 35, like 75 or so. But I'm hunting for this bottom on silver as we speak. But there are some strong names out there. Micron's having a good day, clearly, but not so much Tesla. Definitely not some of the space names that we're going, and not yet silver. Although there you go, there's a bit of a trend break for silver. Right, just gonna get in. I'm not gonna give to the prior bar low. I'll kind of give it to this body underneath here because way too volatile. To get destroyed on it, that's for sure.
Yeah, we just...
Remember, it's a holiday. It's a half day today.
Yeah.
So everything is...
We're actually only on for 20 more minutes. So, congratulations.
We're not getting
for you guys here. So, okay, 83... no, I'm going to the gym. 80... So right here, ASTS, we did... Well, yeah, exactly. I can pick it up on the way back. But 84, 85, we just lost it right there. We got out at 84. It's a $1.50 hit, but it's on... like 10% of the shares that we had on Intel or something. It's really light trade right there, but the market is starting to head back to the upside right now a little bit. So watch out there and see what winds up happening with the Nasdaq. We did put down on the TQs that a trade today could have been 54. I don't know how low it got there. So not even close. So it seems like the market is trying to do stuff, but it's not really. That's the other thing. Like these are small moves in the broader the scope of it, like, yeah, because we're now flat. Like the most I've seen this Nasdaq go up is 0.2. So 0.2 up, 0.2 down, and we just kind of hover here, which is different than what we've seen in the past, as we've obviously seen.
Tesla's still getting whomped.
Oh, Tesla's, okay. Well, let's hope that Intel gets hit soon. 481?
NVIDIA is breaking toward the low of the day as we speak. So
what is
NVIDIA
going
heading
on?
toward the low.
What's helping this market then? I mean, we had Google written down 314. That's at 312 right now.
Apple.
Only Apple. Well, okay.
Well, I'm just saying it's Apple's up 0.8.
I was like struggling to find like that story there about like when we talked about the service revenues and everything, and I was just kind of like, look, I like Apple. I don't know why it's kind of doing this over the last 2 weeks, but it went from 290 down to 270, and now it finds its voice and a bid coming through again. So okay, we did have, we finally, what was that? We finally did get a reload there on, I pushed something, I gotta go find what that button was. We did finally get a reload right there. Yeah, it's this one. Huh? Okay. I have it marked down as Travolta. So that we used to have a guy like, looking around there, but I guess it's the Travolta one now. So there it is, man. We did get a reload at 75. I was also waiting at that very top. We do have an 88 or whatever that fill is there. What is that fill? That fill is 84s. So we got an 84 there and a 75, and we just hit a 53 out, or 55 out there, sorry, as I put my orders in and layer them. So 57 that was. So now let's wait to see, like VWAP is right here at 45. So let's put a bid down here on Intel, and we'll see if we can catch another one. Oh, I'm actually at 53s. So if that comes in, you know what, let's pull the 53 and go a little bit lower than that right now. See if we do wind up breaking. We'll go to 45, put a bid there at 48, and see if we get that fill right now. So let's see if Intel continues to move down. I mean, Google's moving down. You mentioned for some reason NVIDIA's getting to the downside. AMD, a lot of traders like to trade, and that's been a pretty aggressive name. But look at today. It's just like, yeah, you keep saying Tesla. I think that might be the right thing to look at, because Tesla right now is the one that's moving. Like that,
maybe
that's a chart right
like
there.
There's the bottoming tail candle into 480. I was like, oh, it might be trying to break trend, but no, immediately kind of loses that prior bar. Like what you'd want to see happen is get the close above this prior bar close, and then I think you have some sign of a turn. Like that's what I was looking for in silver. It happened, but it can't bust VWAP. Wow, what a weakness, man. You couldn't get to VWAP, so I was able to grab a turn in silver, but it couldn't break through the volume weighted average price. Another bounce off. Yeah, I'm taking another layer out. I only have like down to 40% on Intel. It keeps on holding that higher low. But even when you grab a bottom in here, we're not following through on SLV. Tesla might be doing a better job of it here. It is looking like it's going to close above that 481. So sometimes what will happen is it'll close this candle and it's already at 483. I'm not chasing that. I feel like if you chase it, then all of a sudden you're risking $2.50 instead of 50 cents to a buck. And that's not going to be my cup of tea. But Tesla trying to bounce, NVIDIA trying to bounce. What's ASTS doing? Not even remotely trying to bounce. This also doesn't have a green candle in it. Just looking for where a level could be. Yesterday's low was 80. You could do worse than that if it gets down to $80. That's for sure. Wow, no bounce at all in Tesla. None. Just continues to fall.
Yeah, that's strange, because we don't really have that story about Tesla, right? I mean, so I don't know what's going on there. We just missed another 50 fill there on Intel. Hopefully it just swipes down and we get that 50 and that 48 and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, as Tesla moves to the downside here, Rivian's kind of, I mean, it's down 0.8, so I think it's similar to what Tesla's down, right? Tesla's down 1.1. It just looks more dramatic because this is straight downside right there. I mean, I need Kathy to call back here again, like figure out what's going on. Like, you're not sitting over here buying this name or what? Like, Tesla on its move lower here, that is for sure. All right, I'm going to take another piece. I'm just going to offer 56s now on Intel. I just don't want to get this, well, of course, I choose ARCA. There we go. Did we get filled there? Yes, we did. All right. So out more at 56. Let's see if this one can go. We're still flat on this name. The only other trade that we've had is ASTS today, and that's just doing this, which ain't much right now. Like my scanner right here, just the alerts are like the Qs, Qualcomm, AMD, Shopify, Roblox. Like they're all just kind of either hitting moving averages or.
You know what's the fail rate?
The other alerts I have are VWAP. Sidu. Okay, yeah, I mean, that would make sense. I mean, there's ASTS to the downside. Sidious might be something else. And let's just see if Rocket Lab is doing something, and I'll throw it over and we'll look at Sidu. Yeah, so Rocket Lab's also pulling back. So we'll hold on to this Intel trade. I still think that's going to be a good winner for us, but we did have to sort of absorb that huge move higher right now. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. And then just quickly over here, as Neil's going to talk about Sidu, Netflix also down 0.7. So I think it's just a lot of profit. I don't know if it's profit taking or what, but people getting out of some of these names here today that we weren't expecting. Like, I didn't expect Google to make that move, nor Tesla.
Maybe they're profit taking and then they're doing their last minute Christmas shopping. Although, hey man, your trades will have to close and settle. But Sidu is trying to, Sidus Space, it's Sidu, is trying to hold on to $2 in VWAP in here. It's a ton of volume. It's done 19 million in volume, so it's pretty good. It just needs to bounce off VWAP. It might be a nice little play. Just got to go back to it in a quick little second as silver is double bottomed. There's a couple of, I mean, the bottoming tail candles are identical off of this 64.6. So I went for the reload. Still think target VWAP, but I don't know if we're going to get it on the reload. Maybe the push to 65 is all we're going to get. We break the low, I'm jumping out of this thing. As for Tesla, it's starting to show some real signs of a bottom. So there's another bottoming tail, but this one through 480. So it broke 480 and closed right back above. This might be the one chance on Tesla to be able to go here. We'll see. If it can close green above this 481, then you will have at least a reversal candle to sink yourself teeth into. Yeah, reload no good in silver. I'm telling you, it may just be one and done. Like, get the one trade and don't reload it. If it wins, it wins. But that second time, no good. But I'm looking specifically at Tesla because I feel like even a small reversion here gets you a couple of bucks and then you can move on.
Yeah, we were, I was just bidding 45s here as Intel does finally crack 50 and it bounces completely off of us at 45, which is the 200 period, or sorry, VWAP right there. And I was also waiting at the 200 period. So not sure exactly what we want to do here with this name. And of course, I am talking about Intel, just keeps on bouncing off these levels. So, all right, what about SMR? So let's get into some different names here, see if there's any sort of a movement in any of these names. SMR, yeah, flat there today, waiting to see if we hold 16. That could be a look there. And then one more thing here, and then we'll go back to Neil for a read here. But Palantir just hit as well on the scanner. So what's that doing? Nothing. I guess it must be hitting down here, showing us that we're hitting the 200 period moving average on our 5-minute chart. But Palantir, again, like, just eyes always looking to see if there's anything going on. We have Adara back there. If there's any sort of a news story that hits, she'll be all over that as well. So stay tuned. Hopefully we do get a little bit of a bounce back in some of these names, but the Nasdaq still going a little bit lower here. 87 just broke on Bitcoin as well.
Yeah, if you're looking for opportunities, you might want to do so if you're in Canada with some leveraged ETFs. And BetaPro by Globex Canada is the largest provider of leverage inverse and inverse leverage ETFs. They've got 6 new triple leverage ETFs. You've got 3x bull exposure and bear exposure to the TSX, S&P 60, S&P 60s, semiconductors, and U.S. Treasuries. And we've been saying this for a while. You only got a couple of days to take advantage. Their management fees are dropping to 65 basis points end of year, December 31st. That's when that ends. You also get the benefit of currency hedging, so that gives you more pure performance and exposure. So hey, if you're a tactical and sophisticated trader and you are looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3xdaily to learn more. And well, we'll see if Tesla's going to do it. But the first green candle that wasn't in the pre-market just came in on Tesla, breaking 481. That bar loses 480 and a half. So I'm in at 22s. It's kind of hilarious that I always end up with that number. I love the number. It's just weird. Like, I always end up with 22s in front of an even dollar. But that one was a coincidence. So I'm going to try to add here at 41. If this ends up being a trend break, because it's not really a trend break. All we've done so far is wick 480, finally put in a green candle and hold a higher low. So I want to give it to this bar, not the low of the day, and play into VWAP, whether it's a trend break or not. And then Intel just cannot seem to break the volume weighted average price. There it is. I'm not reloading it. Remember I said, like, silver, like when we got that first initial top, great. Reloading it was a mistake in silver because then the reload lost. So I don't want to do that with Intel. I'm not going to reload this one. If we break the high, I'm jumping out of it. Tesla trying to make a bottom here for the first time today. It's been pretty nasty for Tesla. I mean, a lot of names pull back, but I don't know. You guys let me know if something was nastier than this to the downside. I don't think so.
No, I mean, well, ASTS had a big move. ASTS went to 93.
True, actually, yeah.
ASTS is down 10% from its highs, so something there, but I don't know. All right, so yeah, I'm going to wait for Intel to get up to 36 level, that one that we actually wrote down before we do anything else with that one. We should have got out a little earlier on that as well, as it, again, same trade as Neil, so what the hell. All right, yeah, Netflix, you know, another move downside here today. Like, that's still bleeding lower and lower and lower. We can see if there's anything going on with WBD. Again, I did put a little bit more of Intel on, but it's at its height. It's at its highs right now. Warner Brothers not doing too much. We do know that there's that $30 now, you know,
just no buyers.
Bid, but the deal's already done with Netflix, so they're gonna have to pay that $6 billion breakup fee now, $5.8 billion if they want to take the Paramount Sky. We had Larry Ellison come through and say, like, you know, I'll guarantee that $40 billion there, and we'll move on. And it doesn't look like anything's going down with that one. There's PSKY. Paramount, so looking to get involved in the WBD deal with Netflix and Warner Brothers, of course, but yeah, not nothing. I mean, that's a nice move. That's not nothing, but I don't know how you sit there and pick that top or whatever. So we can kind of move off of PSKY right now. Futures doing what they're doing, so we'll just hit this, and that's not much, man. I mean, the last time I think I spoke about 10 minutes ago, and it was at this level, so nothing going on there. Then IBIT, you know, Bitcoin 87. I was just saying right before we threw it to Neil there, I was like, well, Bitcoin's breaking 87, but we already did that. So yeah, now it's just kind of hovering back up here. We did have a nice break. We got down to 49, now bouncing back up. So there might be some love here for some IBIT at some point. And if you're looking for levels, you know, I think someone in the chat before said, like, we got to play the wicks today. And I think that's probably right. Like, if you're able to pick a spot that you like, maybe just sit there and you will get, you know, an opportunity to get that price, just because once stops are triggered or whatever, you know, it is possible that you get like a little flush and then a battle right back. And that just goes to show there are trading opportunities all the time in this market. ASTS, I think this is a good sort of study on, you know, risk, and it comes into the levels. These are the levels that we posted up, right, matching. You know, these are the levels that we posted up, and when they don't hold you, got to bail. So we posted up 85, so we were able to get 85.50, then we got a little bit more once that broke immediately at 85. Then I was like, oh, I was going to get out at 84.75. Fortunately enough, we wind up getting out on an 84 break, which is still good. That just like railroaded us real early, and the thing is, I didn't get involved until like 9:38, so I'm fine with when we got involved in this, but not fine, obviously, on the price action there. I was pretty positive about this name there today, so ASTS downside and wrong on that one. So yeah, boo earns on that as we continue to watch out for that. And then yeah, good little reload. I'll get out of something here at 62 if we can on Intel, but I don't know.
It bounces VWAP again. It's got.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down there at 53 with like 10% of my order. I just wanted to.
VWAP is continuously rising.
Yeah, we just got a little bit of 70, so I want to take it out there. So we'll see. Yeah, no, the short's probably not good here, but we'll see if it drops one more time and we're able to get some more out here and turn this name positive.
If it has to be range bound, it has to be range bound. But even like Tesla in here, like the first green candle, I think that was, you know, waited for it to have a green candle and set up, but it immediately retook the lows. And I'm just sort of staring down the tape. Like it just, when it bounces, there was sellers at 482, and then they dropped 25 pennies, and then they dropped 25 pennies again. Like the sellers are still kind of winning, but the buyers are coming in here at 480. So I'm going to give it one more shot, but just look for maybe something different in the tape here in Tesla, which it looks like it could be doing. Nibble in here if I can in front of 481. The other thing I'm tracking is I had silver because it was bouncing off a level. It's now trying to break trend. So this is now, I now have 3 points on the trend line, which is usually what I wait for. And remember, on a holiday shortened day, it's almost 10 o'clock. Like that's, like treat that like almost like lunchtime. Like if you're not in, like for that mean reversion, like if I'm not in the mean reversion yet, I'm not gonna force the action. But yeah, both these are trying to break trend as it is. And to me, like that's like that last shot, and then you go into like the lunchtime mode of trading, like that slower mode of trading. So it was always gonna give it to the prior bar low, wanna make sure we observe our risk, and consider you might get a little bit extra slippage as well on some of these. So like I'm not waiting for something to break an even dollar. Like I'm more than willing to get out in front. Ooh, you guys just saw that live. So see that gap? Like our limit order, we don't use actual market orders for stops. They're actual marketable limit orders. So what you saw in real time is that just crossed down. Like it's probably crossing like $10 or something. It's guaranteed that it's going to fill me. But yeah, it actually got filled at like 50 or something. But you actually real time saw it cross down like $5 or whatever the heck it is. And obviously silver is not going to end up breaking that trend for a long. So we're still back to the only thing that is doing anything, which is holding a level, which is Intel. Remember, hit that like and subscribe, everybody. And shout out to the greatest community in the world for reminding us that Sober is up 100%. At one point, I turned to Sean and I said, there's going to be some small cap stock. There's going to be some small cap stock that we hadn't talked about yet that's going to go like HKD ham. And it looks like it is Sober. These are the guys that do the... It's the devices on the cars, right? That's what they do.
Yeah, the...
what's the name? What's the name?
The blow, breathalyzers.
Yes, breathalyzer.
Huh? All right.
It won't matter when autonomy comes.
Yeah, so the only story that we had, I thought, today...
In a while.
Adair's busy doing graphics, and if there's anything hitting, I mean, there's nothing going on in the news. I was just letting people know that we've already sort of talked about this story here. Tesla just probes emergency door release, you know. Oh, model year 2023. Okay, that's not my model year. I thought it was maybe all of the cars, but yeah, so maybe there, you know, that could be the reason for this move down. When we took the story early, when we talked about this at 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, like it was just, I didn't see it as being that big of a story there to have this happen. Like that was released. It was on our watch list. You know, this is a story that's happened pre the market opening up. And normally when you see something like that, it would have already been getting hit in the pre-market, not going up. And all of a sudden the doors open on this market, not like the Tesla doors. And then all of a sudden, whack, right there down into the downside goes TSLA. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the deal is right there with this, but yeah, getting hit down to 480, probably a buy in this zone. I mean, we talked about playing these wicks. It just wicked down to 479.50. So I know Neil was just covering that, but like that's, you know, maybe you use that as your bid. We are almost, I'm bidding 53. If this doesn't fill me at 53, then we're not rolling over, dude. Well, you can roll over the stream, but there's only Joe here, so I don't know what to do at this point. I don't know where Sharif is at right here. We did message him.
I'm still sitting here.
Hopefully he'll. Yeah. We can always. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to Adara and then we'll figure it out. I mean, I could stay. It doesn't really matter. All right. So we'll wait for Sharif. We got Joe locked and loaded, Neil, myself, and Adara. It's Adara with Sector Watch or Happening Now or both.
It's only one, Sean. It's Happening Now. And before we get into Happening Now,